Welcome everybody to the team call. My name is Casey Elmore, for those of you that don't know me. Hey, Michelle, can you make sure to mute yourself? We're just having issues with the video. Okay. Well, I am Casey Elmore, and I am so excited to host the Plant Strong team call tonight. For those of you that don't know me or where I'm at, I'm located in the Midwest, the middle of the country, right by St. Louis. And I am so honored tonight to get to introduce our speaker. So for those of you that don't know, Danielle is actually, I should say, she's New Zealand born and Midwestern married. And she and I recently got connected because of our wonderful mutual friend, Emily Kozlowski, who lives here in St. Louis area. And Danielle is a very quickly fast track to sales coordinator this past just couple of months. And I'm so excited that she's getting to share tonight because we have a lot in common. And it's crazy to me that we never got connected because she has a soccer background and she played here at a local university, literally 30 minutes from my home. And I know many of the teammates that she played with. I actually talked to another one this past week. And it was just kind of small world that she and I never met. And so, because the soccer community here is very small. So I am so excited and honored to invite her on to share more of her story. Danielle, I'd love for you to come on and share, more about yourself, where you've come from, where you are. And I know you have had an amazing health journey over the last, year or so. And so I'd love for you to share more about your health journey and how you heard about Juice Plus.
Yeah, okay. So my name's Danielle. I was born and raised in New Zealand. So I grew up in Auckland as the main city there. I was scouted in 2013 to play soccer over here. So I was offered a full ride to play for McKendree University. So I immediately took that opportunity. So in my sophomore year, I ended up meeting my husband, Brian. He was a basketball player at McKendree, and we got married the day after we graduated. And I was honestly a little bit lost after I got graduated, and I graduated with a Bachelor of Health Sciences and was just not really sure what I wanted to do or where to go with that major. I was unfamiliar with my surroundings here. I kind of secluded myself to the McKendree campus for the 4 years I was here. So I didn't really know what to do, where to work, what were my options were with my visa. And so I went into personal training, and I didn't love it. It wasn't really what I was passionate about. I loved to work out, but it wasn't something I really wanted to coach other people to do. So I did that for about 6 to 8 months, and then I moved on to Orange Theory, and I coached there for a little bit, but I ended up having some health problems back in March this past year. So I actually started to have seizures, and we haven't found out why I'm having seizures, and we just saw my last and third neurologist on Tuesday, and he gave me two options. He gave me the option of taking 2 medications that both have very nasty side effects, and then said because I've developed them so late in life, they're not likely to pass, and that I'd be stuck on these medications for a little while, and potentially won't be able to have children without the risk of having birth defects. And I'm actually on it right now trying to adjust. So if I'm a little drowsy, forgive me. But I am very hopeful that Juice Plus will give me the healing power that my body needs. And hopefully I will be one of those miracle stories in a few years' time that these seizures have passed and I am medication free, and I'll have a beautiful family. That is kind of my hope and dream. I don't really want to take the westernized medicines answer as my final conclusion. But that is a little bit about my health story and what I want to see with Juice Plus.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And we'll be praying for some amazing healing for you. Absolutely. And we've all experienced our own health stories. So I know that the power of plant nutrition is so real, and there's so much to be done about that. So I know that we've got some amazing people connected with you too to work through that. So I'm excited to hear that you are focused on your health and doing the right things. And thinking about your health, it's very interesting to me that you had a health major background from college. And I know you shared, when I previously got to hear you speak, that you weren't really led well from your university to find a job. And so I'd love to hear more about your story of, where that was, where it took you, and how you found out about the Juice Plus business, and, really why that's been so appealing to you, with your background, and your story so far.
Yeah. So, I had a bachelor in health science, and have always been very much a nerd in nutrition, and just loved everything about how the body reacts to different foods we put in it. And so that's kind of why I chose to study health and wellness. I initially wanted to study dietetics, but the programs at McKendree didn't offer dietetics. So I was hoping that the health and wellness program would touch more on nutrition. Unfortunately, I only had like 2 or 3 classes that had nutrition-based information in them, but I struggled my last semester, or just the last year in general. Like, I saw countless professors. I went to 3 different advisors that I had, and I kind of stressed that whole year because I didn't know where I was headed. I knew I was staying in the States, but I knew I wanted to do my part in my marriage to bring home a good paycheck, and didn't want to be jobless. Obviously, I had to stay here somehow. And I began to think that maybe no one really knew the answers for me. No one had advised me on anything really. Our career advisor, she had only ever worked at McKendree, so I don't know that she really had experience with internationals and how visas worked, and there's a lot of miscommunication. So I ended up just going to being a personal trainer because I was working out at a gym near the school, and the guy who was the director of personal training there had seen me come in and out, and he noticed that I came in and I run for hours and I do a circuit, and he was intrigued by my fitness level and wanted to know my story. So we got to talking, and he brought me on as a trainer. And so I can't say I was all that excited about it. It wasn't really my ambition to be a personal trainer, but it worked out for the meantime. We just really didn't connect very well. I guess over the 6 to 8 months that I worked at DFM, and so I moved on to Orange Theory because I thought maybe group fitness training was going to be more my style, more my pace. And I really did love coaching Orange Theory. It was a great workout, and there were some great people there. That's where I actually met my upline, Emily Kozlowski. She was one of the people that was coming to a few of my classes, and she was the only one that I really got any feedback in the class from. She was the one that would smile at me when I would be stretching them and I'd say something quirky, or the rest of the people kind of gave me a hit in the deal, like, what's that word?
Deer in a headlight look.
Yes, they just
such a Midwest comment.
Right. I've heard it a few times here, so I use it when I can. But they would just stare at me, and it kind of freaked me out a little bit because I'm an introvert. And I would just get super nervous. So I knew it wasn't really something I would do long term. I'd freak out before I start coaching the classes just because I wasn't ever comfortable enough on the microphone. But Emily and I we started talking through social media, and we met up a few times, and she started talking to me about Juice Plus. Eventually, I was waiting for her to ask me to join her team because I had seen a few things on her social media, and I was intrigued, and I was looking for something different and more nutrition based. So eventually she asked me, and that's where I have gotten so far.
So, okay, so I have to ask. So you say you're an introvert, you're quirky, you were getting nervous around people at Orange Theory. However, you fast track to sales coordinator, and guys, hear this, 2 months and 12 days. That is phenomenal. And so I would really love to hear, obviously you have an amazing mentor. I love Emily. She's a very good friend of mine. I'm super grateful for her mentorship in this business. So I'd love to hear, your story and working with Emily of what really helped you overcome these things that could absolutely be an obstacle, and not only that, not being here from the States, and I have a visitor. Not being here from the States. And so you've got that boundary. And so I'd love to hear more about your story of fast tracking to sales coordinator with those, things that I would say were against you, and with your health, concerns. I'd love to hear more about what that looked like and how it came to fruition.
Yeah, of course. So in terms of health, I have been limited to what I'm allowed to do. So I'm not allowed to drive for 6 months after having a seizure, and I've had about 7 or 8 and since March. So it kind of puts me out for a while with driving. I was enrolled in the dietetics program at SLU up until August, and I pulled out a week prior because I wasn't well enough to go. I've had a lot of side effects and symptoms that it wouldn't have worked out for me. But in terms of fast tracking in this business, I think I just craved some purpose. Like, I wanted to make a change on something on a larger scale, and I really didn't understand what I was doing. I didn't ask a whole lot of questions. I kind of just started talking to people because I knew that it's simply what I was going to have to do, regardless of understanding the marketing plan or not. So I had a ton of conversations just because it was so simple. I knew all it was fruits and vegetables, and how hard could it be to talk about that? I didn't watch all that many videos, but I knew it was fruits and vegetables. So I led with that. And eventually I have learned stuff over time. I'm still not an expert. I learned a few things just today. Like, I still don't know what POB means, or I learned today what FTSC was, when Casey texted that to me. I would have looked it up. But I just had a lot of conversations. I guess I disconnected the outcome. I kind of led with the heart. I wanted to help people get healthier, and instead of worrying about like, oh, I needed 1 more trio to get to VF, or I needed 2 more to qualify my business, I never really thought of it in that kind of terms. I didn't even know I had hit VF, and if I hadn't have had Emily to do all that behind the scenes kind of stuff for me, then I wouldn't have got to SC, because I didn't even know what that was. So I think my biggest advice would be to employ your upline. They're the ones that are experienced and have been in it a little longer, and they're going to do all the coaching for you. If you can be coachable and just listen to what they say and go and do it, I think that anything is possible. Emily contacted me a little bit before conference and was like, "You're so close to hitting SC. This is what you need to do." So I was like, okay, I'm not sure what that is, but I'll go do it. And now I understand what it is, but I just wouldn't get too caught up in the marketing plan and the steps. Just go and have the conversations and lead from your heart, disconnect from your head. I didn't really like ever do the whole reach out to 5 new people thing. I just reached out to as many people as I could every single day. I knew I wanted to be successful. I knew I wanted to make a change. So the only way to do that is talking to people, and I hate talking to people. I am such an introvert, so I don't know how I did that. I think it was the passion behind Juice Plus. I think having a really strong belief makes a huge difference in your business. I don't think you can really sell anything if you don't truly believe in it. And that's kind of why I haven't ever joined any other MLM companies. And then in terms of getting people to join my team, I kind of made a switch at some point to leading more with the business than leading with the product. And then just went on like a mass run with leading with the business. And I had like 2 weeks ago was like a terrible week, and I was like, wow, maybe like this is where I slow down and maybe I can't do this. But then a week later I signed up 5 people. So I think like just staying as consistent as you can. I don't ever wait for anyone to respond. If no one's responding, that means I need to go and talk to more people. So I don't ever have a day where I'm just waiting on people. I start new conversations. So the next day is busy as the last day was, if that makes sense. But staying consistent, disconnecting from your head and connecting with your heart, having a lot of conversations. And if you really want people on your team, then at some point you got to lead with the business and fall back with the product. So and then sending the right videos to the right people. So I've noticed that some people will respond well to the Joy Kelly video, if you know what I'm talking about, and then some people don't. So I've noticed that the younger generation don't respond well to the Joy Kelly. So I lead with a video that younger people can relate to. So I don't know if any of you have been on Lacey Dawn's Facebook page, but she has a really good video on there about I think it was her first ever video she went live about. So I use that one a lot to send to people that I think it's a video that a lot of people can relate to, that's around their 20s. And it's just very genuine and very real. So I get a good response with that video. And then I also send a product video after that. So I don't know if that helps. And then 3-way calls, which I'm sure you guys all do. What else have I put down?
Hey, do you mind if I ask you a question?
Yeah.
We had someone, you're speaking about this, so I'd love to kind of interject. You're talking about reaching out to people and, you know, sharing the business, leading with the business, which is absolutely genius. And there's so much to be said. We've been teaching and training and coaching all about this. There's a great book called Get Over Your Dang Self. I'll bleep that out for everybody, but it's all about leading with the business and leading with your heart. And so when you're reaching out and starting conversations, are you doing a lot of in-person things? Are you doing a lot of social media? And do you find that a lot of your conversations are, you know, you talk about being an introvert. So I would guess, maybe I'm wrong, and so you can say if I am, but I would guess that a lot of your conversations are quote unquote cold call conversations, that you're just reaching out to people. So I'd love to hear more about how you're reaching out to people. And if they are those cold conversations, you know, what does that look like for you?
Yeah, I don't ever talk to people in person. So all my conversations are over social media. I think I've only ever approached like 2 or 3 people in person. They never really go well. Only one has been successful. So I keep it to social media. I kind of like what I've been doing recently is I've been a no cow ambassador. I'm not sure if you guys know what no cow products are. They're like a vegan protein line. So before I was introduced to Juice Plus, I kind of was an ambassador for them. I went onto their Facebook group and went through all the members who are ambassadors, and I started relating my messages to those people, and just like starting with, hey, I saw that you're an no-cow ambassador. I think that you would really find a lot of value in this product. We share a lot of we're all vegan based. So I usually try and find a way to relate our business to how it would relate to them and how they would find value in it. And then I always do the given out thing. Like, I don't know if you'd be interested. So that's what I always put in my messages. I don't know if you'd be interested, but I am partnered with a health and wellness company. What was the rest of your question?
No, that was it. So it sounds like you're doing a lot of outreach via social media, and you're start leading with the business, and you're giving them an out, which is awesome. It's totally a tried and proven system that works. And I know you're sharing a lot, and someone just posted that question in the chat. That's why I wanted to interject. And I know that we're coming up on time, and I'm loving all the nuggets. I'm going to have to go back through and re-listen to this so I can take notes. So I'd love to, if you're okay with it, I'm kind of putting you on the spot, I know, but if you're okay with it, I'd love to see if anybody else had any other questions that are just kind of off the cuff.
Yeah, of course. Go for it.
So if anybody has a question, this is your opportunity to ask more. If you want to post in the chat, you can, or if you want to unmute yourself and ask, this is your moment.
I got a question, Danielle.
Okay.
How much of your business is built here, and how much of your business is built in Australia and or other countries?
That's a really good question. So I really did think I would start building my business more back home and in Australia, but I found that the Juice Plus company or whatever over in New Zealand doesn't work as efficient as it does in the US. So I haven't been using my resources back home as much. In Australia, they are very good, so I am trying to exploit Australia a little bit more. But New Zealand, I've kind of put off a little bit, but I think that I will start eventually. The prices are very different too. It's very, very expensive in New Zealand, so I found that it's not been the most successful to have people jump on board there.
Cool, thank you.
I have a question.
You have a question. Oh, go ahead.
So when you start off a new teammate and you say you don't necessarily really know them, how are you starting them off? Are you just telling them basically to have a lot of conversations and kind of do what you've been doing, or how are you helping, your teammates continue to promote?
Yeah, I always get them on a 3-way call and then get them on a Zoom call as soon as I can. I like to get to know them the best I can so that they feel comfortable asking me questions. I always make sure that they know that I am there for their help, and I do say a lot like send me screenshots so I can send the responses for them. I found that when I started, that's the best I learned. I sent a lot of screenshots to Emily, and I sent a lot of questions to Emily, and I began to see how she would respond to things, and now I feel like very confident of what she would say, and then I can put my own touch on it. So that's kind of what I'm trying to teach my team, is how to do like an educated response, and using the best verbiage they can, and then putting a personable touch on it. So I asked them to send me screenshots and ask me lots of questions. And then I'm always checking in on them, always asking, what can I help with? And then I do tell them to just go and have lots of conversations. I don't kind of overwhelm them with the marketing plan at all, because I know I don't even know it as much either. So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, that's great.
I have a question.
Okay.
In addition to your messaging on social media, are you also doing events on social media? I'm guessing you're not doing live events at your house. So are you doing that as well, or mostly just direct one-on-one messaging?
I haven't done many events at all. I would like to get into doing that because I know people say great things about them. That is something I do have to get out of my comfort zone to do. So I am just doing one-on-one messaging. I would say that I am very, very consistent with my Instagram stories. I post a lot every day, and I kind of make sure that I post something that's educational rather than just like the capsules and putting 30 fruits and vegetables. I kind of give some information on why we need these and some scientific background on it.
What's your Instagram handle?
Danielle Koch, Koch.
Danielle what?
Summer, like the season.
Oh, summer. Okay. Got it. Awesome. All right. Thanks, Casey. She put it in the chat.
Yes, I put it in the chat. Hey, this is a quick question that Jesse asked, and some people will know who this is, but you played with Beatrice Taylor, right?
Yes.
Okay. I thought so. So Danielle Taylor, her mom, is on our team. And so I know that you've had some conversations with Danielle, and of course you know Marcus. So Jesse was just like, wait, did she play with Beatrice? I'm like, yes, she played with B.
They're a lovely family. I had no idea that Marcus and Beatrice were a part of this community, and I reached out to them both, and when I found out they knew this, I was so mad. You knew I was like this health and fitness freak, and you didn't ever tell me about it.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. Danielle tells them, and Emily's over here like, thank you, Jesus, because
right?
Danielle is my wonderful bestie now. I love it. But that's the beauty, that I just want to close with this, because unless anyone has any other questions, because I think so often, within Juice Plus and within our communities where we live, that our relationships overlap often. And sometimes we feel like we miss out on a conversation, or we miss out, on a relationship because we weren't willing to put forth ourselves or make the connection first. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it doesn't make or break your business. It really comes down to, who the business that you're doing, the activity that you're doing, the conversations, because Danielle has a flourishing business and Emily has a flourishing business. So, it's either way you pick it. And I think it just comes down to, like you shared tonight, that, to, get out of your own way and share with the heart and not worry about the outcome. So I so appreciate you coming on and sharing tonight. Thank you so much. You have given us so much value, and we appreciate your time.